You can sell the same exact AI agent to your clients for $5,000 to $10,000. First, I'll show you the demo and then explain how you can build the same thing. Here's how the demo will be structured. We'll first fill out the form and enter the pipeline. The agent will send us the message first, which is personalized, trying to nurture, qualify, and pre-sell us something. Then we will make a phone call to another agent. This agent will have access to the conversation history. So this is a unified memory between two agents through text and voice. And then we will send an email to another agent that also has a complete access to the call transcripts as well as the conversation history from the very first chat. Here's the form. Let's say that I'm Eugene Altman. I'll provide my phone number here. And for the website, we'll put Normandy Insurance. I'll click submit. Normandy is one of our insurance clients. As you can see, they are selling insurance. Now I have the Just Call. This is a software that we use to manage all the calls and SMS. So we are about to receive a personalized message from the agent that will try to engage with us. So let's wait and see how it's gonna look. So we just got the message. It says that, hey, Eugene, because I said that I am Eugene, seems that you offer a variety of commercial insurance. Now, this is two questions that are related to my business. Let's say, yes, I am. Do you guys sell any used cars? Just to make sure. We'll ask a few questions and let's see. So obviously, since Normandy doesn't sell any cars, it says that this is not a relevant question. Now we want to provide some information that we will be able to access through the voice call. We can say, sure, sorry. Here is my account number. I want to use further, please. Just remember that, please. Okay, something like that. Now, this number will be saved on the backend. So right now, I am going to make a phone call to another agent. If we go to the one prompt, you can see that the Eugene as a contact was created, and this is the number that we have on the Just Call. So I am going to call, right, the agent right now from this number.
Hi, welcome to Normandy. My name is Roger. How may I help you today?
Hey, Roger, can I get my billing information, please?
Sure thing. I see your account number is R784637. Could you also share your full name so I can pull up your billing info?
Yes, so it's Jane Yudenkowa.
Thanks, Jane. I'm checking your billing information now and it might take a few seconds. Please hold on. Your billing status shows that it's paid, Jane. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Okay, thank you. So just to clarify, I have paid the invoice, right?
Yes, that's correct, Jane. Your invoice has been paid. Anything else I can assist you with?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so as you can see, we provided the account number here. It updated the memory within the one prompt. Then we made a call to another agent. So these are two separate agents. So the one is programmed to respond through the text, and another one is programmed to respond through voice. But when we were accessing the billing information that is connected to Airtable through the function, it did not ask us for the account number because this account number was already provided and the agent has it in its memory. So here is what we can do. We can go even further. We can go back to our SMS conversation with this agent and say, I have one question, please. What is my billing status? So now it will group these messages together, send it back to the text agent. This text agent has the unified memory between voice and text, and it will say that the billing status is paid. This agent is not specifically programmed to provide billing information. That's why it will say probably that, hey, you should probably contact the billing department, but it will still provide us the status as paid just because there is the information about the billing status in the memory. Okay, so we are receiving the messages now. Let me reload it. So as you can see that the previous status was paid. Don't pay too much attention that both of these messages got duplicated. This is just the call thing. But we've been able to first provide information through the chat, then access this information through the call, and then access the information that was provided on the call through the chat again. Now the next step is to access this information through the email. But if you go to the contact inside OnePrompt, you will see that there is no email because we never provided an email to the company, right? So there was no email field on the form and it never asked us to do so. What it's capable of is when we are providing short data points about our business, about our personal info, it will be automatically captured by the text agent and then updated back to OnePrompt. So if I send something like, okay, sure, my email is, and let's say eugenekanton@gmail.com. Can you please remember that for me? Let's hit send. What it is going to do, it's gonna extract this email, and then within the text agent platform, it will trigger another automation that will put this email into the OnePrompt. As you can see, it already did it. Don't worry, later in the video, I will explain how it's done and how you can do the same thing. So now, this contact, Eugene Altman, has the email and the phone number, right? So we are able to send an email from this email to our business email where the agent is connected to and access all the information as we did through the voice and text. Now let's go into my inbox and compose a new email. So Eugene@coinpol.agency, this is the email that is connected to the agent. We'll say billing question 1. Hey, can you please help me with my account info? What is my billing status again? I think you should have it. Thank you. Now, we are sending this email. It will be received by the agent. It will generate the response and then reply back to us. Let's read this email and let's wait and see what it's going to do. So we here received a reply with the account information and the status as paid. Keep in mind that this is the email within one thread, right? So it's not a separate email, which is usually gets sent by the AI. It is the email that is sent as a direct reply. Now, I hope you got the idea. Again, we were getting into the pipeline. The agent was trying to engage with us. If we would not reply to this very first agent message, it would send us a follow-up to try to engage. But when the reply is received, as you can see here, it actually was trying to nurture, qualify, and pre-sell us something. As you can see, it was asking questions here, what kind of business we're interested in, and so on and so forth. Then it updates the conversation history. Same thing through the voice, but here it was answering all of our questions. When we tried to get the billing status, it connected to Airtable through the function, but because the account number was already provided by this chat, it didn't ask for it. And the same thing happened through the email. Once we sent the email, because the contact was created with the email that was provided on the chat, it was able to match it and access the Eugene Altman information that was updated through the voice and through the text. Now let's go into the details on how it is built and how you can replicate the same system. By the way, if you don't want to go into developing this from scratch, you can access OnePrompt, which is our own software, which is white labeled version of HighLevel with quite a few modifications and custom workflows. You can check the link in the description and purchase it. There you'll have access to everything already built in. But if you want to build it in custom, let me show you how it's done. First, let's go into the actual structure. When we're talking about the agent, we have three main parts. We have the brain, the memory, and the interface, right? So the brain is where the magic happens, right? So we have the RAG knowledge base, we have the bot persona, we have sub agents for different tasks, we have engagement prompts, and we have integrations, right? For the brain, we're always using VoiceFlow for text-based agents. For the voice-based agents, we're using Retail. And on the Retail, we are getting and using the workflows here. You can use anything. Again, VoiceFlow added the new voice capability, so you can access this agent through not only text, but also voice. Again, it depends on your preference. Right now, for this visualization, I was using two different softwares that has unified memory. Now we have a memory, which is the storage, right? And we also have the interface. So the interface is where the connections happen, right? So if you're connecting this agent to WhatsApp, SMS, email, or any other channel, like you need to put everything in one place. You have one Unibox for all conversations here that you can manage, and you can see the entire history. You also have the dashboard and the pipeline. For the interface, we're using OnePrompt again, so you can use the HighLevel for it. Technically, you can build your own custom interface, or you can even use the HubSpot. I've never seen anyone does something like that on a third-party CRM, just because it involves quite a few things on the development to make it the production ready. That's why we're using HighLevel and our own version of HighLevel, but you can try to use something different. Again, so for example, here we have a dashboard that you also, again, when you join OnePrompt, you have access to. You can configure it however you want. You also have the actual pipeline where, for example, if you go to the omnichannel agent pipeline, you will see all the people that are messaging you on WhatsApp, Instagram, SMS, live chat, and email. You also will see the people that are looking for the human help, what we call it a human handoff. So the actual thing starts on the VoiceFlow, because this is where you need to build a text-based logic. Again, so this is the template that you get within the OnePrompt by default. So the idea of this agent is that we are first understanding either it's an inbound or outbound campaign, because if it's the outbound campaign, we're actually, as you can see here, doing the variable. So we're not providing the text, because this variable is automatically generated based on the information that the user provided on the form. So if you go to the automations, let me show you how it's built. If you go to the Omni agent here, to the engagement, So here we'll have an automation. This automation is triggered when someone submits a form, right? So there is a trigger here. As you can see, form submitted. The next step, once the form is submitted, we are researching the prospect, right? And the research is done through n8n. Again, you can technically use any like make type of the automation if you don't know how to use it. So we have the one prompt research agent. It's very simple. We're triggering the webhook here. Then we are using Firecrawl to crawl the information from the company website, right, through the API request. Then we're asking ChatGPT to analyze this information and create an actual personalization. So the personalized first line and the company summary, just for the agent to have the context about the business, and then we're responding to the webhook. So here it is run, it's returning the information that was researched. So if we go to the execution path, as you can see, these were the automation that were executed. As you can see, it seems that you offer variety of commercial insurance services, right? So this is the message that we received here. So the next step is us parsing everything, saving everything, and we're launching VoiceFlow. Now, very important. So we are launching VoiceFlow, and as you can see here, we're launching it through a simple API request, so it's the launch request, but we are also providing the state variables. Basically, when, like, in order to access this agent on VoiceFlow, you need to first launch it through API. When you launch it, you can pass certain data. And if you look closely, we are passing first personalization. So this is the name of the variable, and it equals the value that was generated here. So basically, when this agent is launched, this variable will have this information. Seems that you offer a variety of commercial insurance. And that's why we're displaying it to the user. And that's why you're seeing it here. But you also have a Hey Eugene in front. This is the static value. So you do all the manipulations here, and then you actually send an SMS outreach. As you can see, hey, contact name. So this is the name that was provided, that the user provided when filling out the form. And then this is the personalized message that was generated. And then we do the follow-ups in case the user does not respond. Okay. Then when the user responds, as you can see here, it goes to the next step. Don't want to go into the details of the VoiceFlow. I have a lot of the videos on how to do that. Basically, we're calling the knowledge base, then we're generating the response. You might ask, hey Eugene, but how are you actually capturing multiple replies here from the user? And how does the bot replies in multiple messages? Which is a bit weird, right? So this is not how usually the conversation with the bot is structured, because like if we test it here, we'll have one message, we can say one message back, and we'll receive one message back. So it's not human type of the interactions. That's why you need to do a few like manipulations. The first thing is what we call utterance processing, right? So if we go to this two automations here, you will see that when there is a trigger of the SMS agent, right? So this is because this is the SMS, and because the first message was sent through the SMS, here we have the SMS trigger, right? And I will actually, at the end later on the video, will explain how you can do the same thing for the WhatsApp within basically like a few minutes. You will just replace the trigger and the messages. But basically, we're receiving the SMS. And we're doing what we call utterance processing. We're process all the DMs. The idea of this is that, to not go too much into the details, is that when the user sends you a message first, you are not sending this message right away through the API to VoiceFlow to generate the response. What you're doing, you're waiting for example, 3 minutes or 1 minute, whatever. So you can configure it however you want. And then within this 3 minutes, you're waiting for all the messages that the user sent, right? So then the user sends 1, 2, and then 3. For example, here I sent 2, 2, 2. Let's say again, so it's 2. So I sent 2 messages. Then in 3 minutes, it went to the next step. It grouped all the messages into one master message and sent it to VoiceFlow through the API. And that's why I was saying that you can technically try to build it like with any other platform, because most of the CRMs allow you to use the custom fields, right? So, and we're doing it through the custom fields. Basically, if we go to the contact here, you will see that within this contact, we have multiple custom fields, and these custom fields are getting updated after each message from the user is sent, right? And we are actually like doing it here. So we're saying, okay, so first, the first message is received, it's triggered this scenario, it updates the DM1, for example, the custom field. Then when the second message is sent, DM1 is already full, so it will update the DM2, right? So if we go to this contact, you'll see in the omnichannel agent, you'll have DM1 and DM2, right? So, okay, sure, my email is Eugene. Can you please remember that for me? Okay, so these are the actual things that were sent. Then what we do, we are grouping it here, right? So we're waiting for X amount of seconds, and then here we group all the DMs into one, what we call master message. And see here, this is the master message, and it's just divided by a simple dot. So it's like, it's DM1 plus DM2. So this is the master message. And this master message is getting sent to VoiceFlow, right? And that's basically it. Very important thing to understand, okay? After each message is generated on VoiceFlow here, and this is what we're doing here, we are basically accessing the variables from VoiceFlow, right? So the VoiceFlow has its own memory, right? So it's just a custom memory that saves the conversation, the transcript. We need to access it somehow. That's why here you have the actual chat history custom field, right? So when this automation is run, so for example, we generate the reply in VoiceFlow through the through the API call, and we're processing the payload. So in the payload, we're like sending this master message, right? So from here, what we're also doing, we're then getting the memory from VoiceFlow, aka basically we're getting all the variables, and the transcript from the VoiceFlow is saved in a certain variable. So now this variable is getting saved in the contact details here. And basically that's pretty much it. This is how you cover the text part of the setup. Now, when it comes to the voice, it's a bit different. Because we're using another software, we need a way before the call to access information about the prospect. Again, depending on the software that you use, they might have like different kind of workflows and webhooks, how you can technically do that. So because we are using the retail interfaces and workflows, before the call right after the call begins, before the first message, we are sending an actual function, right? So we are triggering this function to start an n8n automation. And within the n8n automation, we have a build that is getting the prospect details from one prompt. And it's called retail and one prompt get contact details. Because if you think about this, when we are getting the phone call and we're triggering this webhook, on this webhook, we have the contact phone number that is calling from. So what we are doing, we are getting this contact, and we are, I'm not going to open it just to not leak my API key. We're just trying to find the contact in one prompt, right? Using this phone number. And because we're calling from this phone number, it will match. So it will find this contact. Then we're just running some JavaScript to filter, because it responds with like a lot of different fields. This is just how high-level APIs work. We are getting the call history 1, 2, 3, and chat history. So all this 3 custom fields, and you can do any, right? So it's just 3. We build it for like our customers just because this is the most default thing. But if you have like, for example, 5 calls, 10 calls, you can do whatever you want. Basically, we are responding with call history 1, call history 2, call history 3, and chat history. So again, this function is ran, this automation, is getting triggered, it search the contact in one prompt. If the contact is found, we're sending this information back here. And that's why I was like, basically, this is the welcome message. Then we're starting to chat. Then we say that we want to get the billing. It goes here. And here we're saying that, hey, you need to capture the full name and account number. But because the account number was already provided by this function, it just asks for the name and then it runs the billing function. And this is a simple, again, Airtable function that connects to this base. It's using the account number, trying to find the status of the billing, and that's it. You can technically connect it to Salesforce, NetSuite, or any ERP that you would want. Okay, now the last question is that how do we connect this specific thing to a back, like how do we update it back, like how do we update the transcript back to one prompt? It's pretty simple. Here you have a post call processing webhook somewhere here, right? So we're just triggering this webhook, and within the one prompt, if we go to the voice interaction, we have the process call thing. This workflow is triggered right after the call has happened, and it's just verifying if we already have some information about the previous calls with this customer or not, and then updates the custom fields based on that. Let me try to reload it for now. So we are triggering the webhook, then we want to make sure that this is the event that is triggered after the call has happened. So we're checking for the call analyzed event, then we're trying to find the contact. And then there are a few manipulations just because, again, so if there are multiple calls, if this, for example, call history already exists, and if there is a second call, we don't want to overwrite this history. We just want to place it in the call history too, right? And then again, so when we were sending a message back to this agent, all of these variables are sent to VoiceFlow. So VoiceFlow also has the call history, and by default, it has the chat history within the previous interactions, right? Now, let me quickly show you how you would do the same exact thing for WhatsApp or any other channel. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page to understand like that it's not super hard to modify this thing based on your use case. So what you are essentially going to do here, you are going to replace a trigger, right? So if we go to here, trigger, let's call it WhatsApp. Let's put the trigger to WhatsApp. Let's save it. Save here. Now let's go to the flow where we actually generate the response in VoiceFlow. We're doing accessing the memory, and see here we're sending the SMS, right? So what we can do is we can just copy this contact. This is the custom field. We can do the WhatsApp, right? So we'll use the default number that is connected to one prompt. You just this response, sure. You delete this one. Okay, and you would do the same thing 5 times just because there are 5 messages, and the 5 messages are basically the 5 messages that the bot can potentially send to the user, right? So the response 2. Let's actually do 3 to not waste too much of your guys' time. So here we would do the WhatsApp, okay, now, and we'll just replace it with a 3 here. Save, from default, save, and we are done. So now, basically, we are all ready to go, and it's able to answer the questions through the WhatsApp. So let's test it out. If we go to my settings, right, so I have the WhatsApp, and this is the default WhatsApp number that I have. So if I go to my WhatsApp, if I create a new message, one prompt, I think it should be this one. Hey, do you sell any cars? And also, I really like apples. Do you? So some random things. Now, both of these messages will get received. If we go to the receive and process DMs, here in the enrollment history, you'll see that there's a Eugene Kazin. It's just matched this phone number with a contact just because it already existed in the one prompt. So here you'll see that it's getting processed. So if we go back to the enrollment history, you'll see that this contact is getting, right now, it's waiting for 10 seconds again. So you can configure it however you want. It's finding the opportunity right now just because we have a whole dashboard to manage the conversations as well as manage the pipeline of the things. While we're kind of doing that, the same thing applies to all other, for example, solutions like database reactivation agent or personalized RVMs or prospect enrichment. So it works all the same way. It just has one unified memory that it can operate on, and then it runs different workflows connecting to different tools together. So it's like a suite or a hub where you can do everything. So let's see what it's doing for now. Now it's sending the WhatsApp, so we're about to say, oh, my bad, we don't actually grade man, so grade Apple. So yeah, so as you can see, it identified all the messages, and we literally deployed it within just a few minutes. Now, yeah, it is a separate contact. If so, it was Eugene Altman, that this is Eugene Kazin, just because this is the UK number and this is the WhatsApp number, so they are different. If you use the same number, it will match it. But if, for example, the numbers do not match, if you would make a call from another number, we have a system where it can still find relevancy between two contacts if you provide relevant information. So for example, right now, if I would provide my email, then it will match this email with this contact and then pull the info, the conversation history from the Eugene Altman conversation. Again, you can turn it on or turn it off depending on your use case. Okay guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.